Hey everyone, Andy, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the world of heavy machinery to explore something you see every day but maybe haven't thought much about: the dump truck. These workhorses of construction and mining have a fascinating history. We're going to trace their evolution from clunky, manually operated machines to the high-tech, automated giants they are today. So buckle up, because we're about to howl a load of history and the technology. Let's rewind the clock to the late 19th century. Before dump trucks existed, moving materials like coal or dirt was backbreaking work. It involved armies of workers with shovels, wheelbarrows, and the horse-drawn wagons. It was slow, inefficient, and incredibly labor-intensive. The need for a better way was obvious. The first glimmers of innovation appeared with simple tilting mechanisms on farm wagons, but these were small-scale solutions. The true revolution began in the early 1900s. Companies in Europe and the United States started experimenting with motorized chassis. Imagine a basic truck frame, an engine that sputtered to life with a hand crank, and a simple, flatbed. The dumping part was still very manual. Often, it involved a hand crank winch and the cable system. A worker would have to stand still, turning a crank to slowly raise the bed and let the material slide off. It was a huge step up from shovels, but still a far cry from what we know today. One of the key pioneers was the Galleon or Steel Body Company, founded in Ohio in 1913. They are often credited with inventing and patenting the first hydraulic hoist for a dump truck. This was a game changer. Instead of relying on muscle power and the mechanical cranks, a hydraulic system used pressurized fluid to lift the bed. This meant faster dumping, the ability to lift much heavier loads, and significantly less effort for the operator. The hydraulic dump truck was born, and the construction world would never be the same. Throughout the 1920s and the 30s, as truck technology in general improved with more powerful engines and stronger frames, so did dump trucks. They became a common sight on major infrastructure projects like the Hoover Dam. The basic principle of a hydraulic lift remained, but the systems became more robust and reliable. Cabs started to become more enclosed, offering operators some protection from the elements, but they were still pretty basic: loud, shaky, and with few creature comforts. Fast forward to the post-World War II era. The economic boom and the massive expansion of highways and the suburbs created an unprecedented demand for construction. Dump truck design evolved rapidly to meet this need. Engines became more powerful, transmissions offered more gears, and the size of the trucks grew. We started seeing the diversification of dump trucks. You had your standard dump truck for road work, but also massive, off-highway haul trucks designed specifically for mines and the quarries capable of carrying hundreds of tons. During this period, the operator's experience started to improve, but it was still a very hands-on job. Driving these beasts required skill and the physical effort. You were constantly shifting gears with a manual transmission, wrestling with a large steering wheel that had no more power assistance, and operating the hydraulic lift with a simple, often stiff, lever. The cab was noisy and the air conditioning was a luxury reserved for premium passenger cars. The late 20th century, from the 1970s onwards, is where we really start to see the seeds of modern automation being planted. The first big leap was the widespread adoption of automatic transmissions. This was a huge deal. It freed the driver from constantly working the clutch and the shifter, reducing fatigue and allowing them to focus more on maneuvering the vehicle safely. Power steering also became standard, making it much easier to handle these large trucks, especially on tight job sites. Inside the cab, things were getting more comfortable. Better seats, improved sound insulation, and eventually, air conditioning became common. The controls for the dump body also became more refined. Simple levers were replaced with more ergonomic joystick controls or push-button systems, offering more precise control over the lifting and the lowering of the bed. Electronics began to creep in, with early diagnostic systems to monitor engine health and the performance. Now, let's jump to the 21st century, where the evolution has accelerated into a full-blown technological revolution. The biggest shift has been the integration of computers and the software into every aspect of the truck. This is the era of the smart dump truck. GPS and the telematic systems are now standard. Fleet managers can track the location, speed, fuel consumption, and even the number of dump cycles of every truck in real time from an office hundreds of miles away. This data is invaluable for optimizing routes, scheduling maintenance, and improving overall efficiency. The operator's cab today looks more like an airplane cockpit than an old truck. We have digital dashboards that display a wealth of information. Rear view and blind spot cameras provide a 360-degree view around the vehicle, dramatically increasing safety. These systems can even detect obstacles or people in the truck's path and sound an alarm. The controls are incredibly sophisticated. An operator can preset the angle of the dump bay door, control the rate at which the tailgate opens, or with the touch of a button. And this brings us to the cutting edge, autonomous dump trucks. In large-scale mining operations, fully driverless haul trucks are already a reality. These behemoths, the size of a small house, navigate pre-programmed routes using a combination of GPS, LiDAR, and radar. They operate 24/7, stopping only for refueling and maintenance. They communicate with each other and with the loading equipment to create a perfectly synchronized, highly efficient ballet of us moving. This increases safety by removing humans from potentially hazardous environments and boosts productivity to levels unimaginable just a few decades ago. While fully autonomous dump trucks aren't on our city streets just yet, the technology is trickling down. Features like adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and the automatic emergency braking are becoming more common on on-road trucks. These are the building blocks of full automation. We're also seeing remote control capabilities, allowing an operator to control a truck from a safe distance, which is perfect for hazardous material handling or unstable ground conditions. So, what does the future hold? We can expect to see even greater levels of automation and connectivity. Electric dump trucks are also on the horizon, promising zero emissions and quieter operation, which will be a huge benefit for urban construction projects. The integration of artificial intelligence will make these machines even smarter, allowing them to learn and adapt to changing site conditions on their own. From a worker hand cranking a rickety bit to a massive, autonomous machine guided by satellites, the evolution of the dump truck is a perfect example of human ingenuity. It's a story of making work safer, faster, and more efficient. The next time you see a dump truck rumbling down the road, take a moment to appreciate a century of innovation packed into that powerful machine. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this journey through dump truck history interesting, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the world of engineering and technology. Let me know in the comments what machine you'd like me to cover next. Until then, stay curious.